Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to share with you the story of how I managed to get my customers and grow my business step by step. It wasn't easy and it didn't happen overnight, but with consistency, effort, and the right strategies, I was able to build a strong customer base that still supports me today. Many people think getting customers is only about selling, but in reality, it is about connecting, building trust, and offering real value. When I first began my journey of getting customers, one of the most important lessons I learned was the need to truly understand who my target audience was. At the start, I made the mistake of trying to sell to everyone, thinking that if I reached a larger group of people, I would automatically have more buyers. But soon I realized that not everyone needed what I was offering, and not everyone was interested. This wasted both my energy and my resources. Everything increase is the right gift. Excuse me, isn't my struggle and the custom. Yeah, this. My. Understanding my target audience meant going beyond basic demographics like age, gender, or location. It required me to dive deeper into their lifestyle, challenges, interests, and motivations. I asked myself questions like, what problems are they facing? What solutions are they looking for? What emotions drive their decisions? By answering these questions, I started to see patterns in my potential customers' behavior, which gave me insights into how to approach them more effectively. This research approach allowed me to stop guessing and start creating strategies based on real customer needs. Another crucial part of understanding my audience was engaging with them directly. I spent time listening more than talking, whether it was through surveys, casual conversations, or social media interactions. By doing this, I began to understand their language, the exact words they used to describe their struggles, and what they expected from a product or service like mine. This was incredibly powerful because it meant I could tailor my marketing messages in a way that resonated with them personally. When people feel like you get them, they are far more likely to trust you and eventually become your customers. Lastly, focusing on my target audience allowed me to save time, money, and effort. Instead of spreading myself thin trying to appeal to everyone, I concentrated on the people most likely to benefit from my services. This shift not only improved my conversion rates but also gave me the confidence to position myself as a specialist rather than a generalist. Customers prefer someone who understands their exact problem and can provide a solution specifically designed for them. By knowing my target audience inside and out, I laid the foundation for building long-term customer relationships. One of the greatest lessons I learned on my journey of gaining customers was that trust is the true currency of business. Customers don't simply buy a product or service, they buy into the person or brand behind it. Early on, I discovered that if people didn't trust me, they would hesitate to spend their money, no matter how good my offer was. So instead of focusing only on selling, I shifted my attention toward building meaningful and genuine relationships with my audience. This meant showing honesty, being consistent, and letting customers see that I cared about their needs more than my profits. That simple shift in mindset created a powerful impact on how people responded to me. To build trust, I realized I had to be transparent in everything I did. Whether it was being upfront about pricing, setting realistic expectations, or admitting mistakes when they happen, transparency played a huge role in earning credibility. Customers appreciate honesty, even when the truth isn't in your favor, because it shows integrity. I also made it a point to follow through on promises. If I said I would deliver something within a certain time frame, I worked hard to make sure it happened. This reliability created a sense of security, and customers began to see me as someone they could depend on. Over time, these small acts of consistency built a reputation that encouraged repeat business. Another way I developed trust was by making communication a priority. Instead of treating customers like transactions, I treated them like people. I listened to their concerns, answered their questions with patience, and gave them the respect they deserved. Sometimes, this meant taking extra time to explain details or going the extra mile to ensure they felt heard. This kind of personal connection created loyalty because customers felt valued rather than just sold to. Many of them became long-term supporters, not only because of the product itself, but because of the relationship I built with them. Lastly, I realized that trust grows strongest when customers see consistent results. Delivering quality products or services was non-negotiable for me. But I also learned to add small touches of care that made people feel special. For example, checking in after a purchase, offering personalized suggestions, or simply thanking them sincerely went a long way in deepening our connection. These genuine gestures showed that I wasn't just after their money. I was invested in their satisfaction. Over time, this approach transformed first-time buyers into loyal advocates who recommended me to others. Trust, once built, became the foundation upon which my customer base continued to grow. One of the most effective strategies I discovered in attracting and retaining customers was the principle of providing value before asking for a sale. In the beginning, I noticed that when I approached people only with the intention of selling, they often became defensive or uninterested. Nobody likes feeling pressured into buying something. However, when I shifted my focus to giving people something useful without expecting anything in return, their perception of me changed completely. By offering helpful advice, sharing knowledge, or giving small free resources, I positioned myself not just as a seller, but as a trusted guide who genuinely wanted to help. This approach worked because it built goodwill and created a sense of reciprocity. When people receive something valuable for free, they naturally feel more inclined to give back, whether through appreciation, engagement, or eventually making a purchase. For example, I would share tips related to my field, answer common questions, or provide simple solutions that customers could use immediately. Even though these contributions seemed small, they left a strong impression on people. They began to view me as someone who understood their problems. There was no way that they could even kashti. So thirst, they became uh, Another powerful benefit of giving value first was that it set me apart from competitors. While many businesses rushed into aggressive sales tactics, I took the time to nurture relationships by offering something meaningful upfront. This not only built my reputation but also created a strong sense of credibility. Customers often remembered me because of the value I provided even before they spent a single penny. In their eyes, I wasn't just another business trying to make money. I was someone offering real solutions. The differentiation made it easier for people to choose me over others when they were ready to buy. Most importantly, providing value before selling created a long-term connection rather than a one-time transaction. Customers began to rely on me as a resource, and that ongoing engagement kept me top of mind. Whenever they needed more advanced solutions, they naturally turned to me because they already trusted the value I had given. This approach transformed casual followers into loyal customers who were happy to recommend me to others. By focusing on giving before asking, I built a strong foundation. Following my own of my customer base, one of the most powerful ways I gained customers was through word of mouth and referrals. Early in my journey, I realized that no matter how much effort I put into advertising or online promotions, nothing compared to the influence of a personal recommendation from a satisfied customer. People naturally trust friends, family, and colleagues more than they trust brands. So every positive experience my customers had became an opportunity to reach new prospects. I learned that creating remarkable experiences for even a small group of people could snowball into a larger network of customers through their personal endorsements. To make this work effectively, I focused on delighting every customer I served. It wasn't enough for them to be simply satisfied. I wanted them to feel impressed and genuinely happy with their experience. By exceeding expectations, whether through quality, personalized service, or small unexpected gestures, I encouraged customers to share their experiences with others. Even small acts like a handwritten thank you note or follow-up support often inspired customers to talk about my business with their friends or recommend me online. These referrals carried a level of authenticity that no advertisement could match. I also made it a point to actively encourage referrals in subtle and respectful ways. I let my customers know that if they were happy with my service, sharing my work with someone who could benefit would be appreciated. I approached it not as a sales tactic but as an invitation to help others, while also helping me grow. Many of my loyal customers were happy to participate because they had first-hand experience with the value I provided, and they felt proud to recommend something they genuinely trusted. This strategy created a cycle where happy customers became ambassadors, attracting new clients who were already inclined to trust me. Another important aspect of using word of mouth and referrals was nurturing long-term relationships with customers. I maintained contact even after a sale, checking in, offering additional support, and showing that I valued them beyond the initial transaction. This ongoing engagement strengthened the likelihood that they would refer me to others. Over time, I noticed a pattern. The customers who felt appreciated and heard were the ones most likely to share my services with their network. This approach allowed me to grow my customer base organically, relying not just on advertising budgets, but on the trust and advocacy of people who genuinely believed in what I offered. In today's digital age, one of the most effective ways I attracted customers was by leveraging social media and online platforms. When I first started, I realized that most potential customers were already spending a significant amount of their time online, whether browsing social media, reading blogs, or engaging with communities. If I wanted to reach them effectively, I had to meet them where they were. Social media became a powerful tool not just for promotion, but for creating meaningful engagement, sharing my expertise, and building a recognizable presence. By consistently posting relevant content and interacting with my audience, I slowly established credibility and visibility in my niche. Using social media effectively meant more than just posting advertisements. I focused on sharing valuable content such as tips, insights, and stories that resonated with my audience. By doing so, I positioned myself as someone knowledgeable and trustworthy rather than just a seller trying to make a quick sale. I also made it a priority to respond to comments, answer questions, and participate in discussion. This interaction created a sense of community and made potential customers feel heard and connected to my brand. Over time, people began to recognize my presence and approach me proactively when they needed products or services like mine. Another strategy I employed was showcasing my work and customer success stories online, sharing real career examples of satisfied customers or the impact of my services helped build trust and provided social proof to new prospects. People are naturally influenced by the experiences of others, and when they saw how my work had helped someone else, they became more confident in choosing me. Visual content, reviews, and testimonials became essential components of my online strategy, and each post or update contributed to strengthening my reputation and attracting more customers organically. So, finally, leveraging online platforms allowed me to reach a larger audience than traditional methods alone could achieve. Social media gave me access to groups, forums, and communities where potential customers were actively looking for solutions. Paid advertisements, when used strategically, further amplified my reach and brought in people who were already interested in my offerings. By combining organic engagement with targeted outreach, I created a consistent flow of prospects and leads. This approach not only helped me get new customers, but also ensured that my business remained visible, relevant, and competitive in an increasingly digital world. One of the most important lessons I learned in building a strong customer base was that delivering excellent service is often more powerful than any marketing strategy. Customers remember how they are treated, and their experiences shape their perception of a business far more than advertisements ever could. From the very beginning, I committed myself to providing not just a product or service, but a remarkable experience that left customers feeling valued and appreciated the experience. I understood that excellent service creates loyalty, builds trust, and often becomes the primary reason why customers return and refer others. Delivering excellent service meant paying attention to every detail. I made sure that every interaction, from the first inquiry to the final delivery, was smooth, professional, and attentive. This included responding promptly to questions, addressing concerns with empathy, and ensuring that the product or service met or exceeded expectations. I learned that even small gestures like following up after purchase or providing guidance on how to use a product effectively could make a huge difference in customer satisfaction. These efforts showed that I genuinely cared about their experience, not just the sale itself. Another key aspect of excellent service was consistency. It was not enough to deliver outstanding service occasionally. I had to ensure that every customer experienced the same high standards every time. By maintaining consistency, I built a reputation for reliability and professionalism Customers began to trust that they would always receive quality service from me, which increased their confidence and loyalty. Over time, this consistency turned first-time buyers into repeat customers and created a strong foundation for long-term relationships. Finally, excellent service often led to organic growth through referrals and positive reviews. Satisfied customers shared their experiences with friends, family, and colleagues, and their recommendations carried far more weight than any paid advertisement. I realized that by focusing on delivering exceptional service, I was not only retaining existing customers, but also naturally attracting new ones. The positive reputation that came from consistent high-quality service became one of the most effective tools for growing my customer base and sustaining business success. One of the most crucial aspects of growing my customer base was learning to adapt and listen to feedback. Every interaction, comment, or review was an opportunity to understand their needs better. Every interaction, comment, or review was an opportunity to understand their needs better and improve my offerings. I started to view feedback not as criticism, but as guidance that could help me refine my products, services, and overall customer experience. This shift in mindset allowed me to evolve in ways that aligned with what customers truly valued. Listening actively to feedback meant paying attention to both positive and negative responses. Positive feedback reinforced what was working, but it was the negative feedback that often offered the most valuable insights. Whenever a customer pointed out a flaw, an inconvenience, or a missing feature, I took it seriously and explored ways to address it. Rather than feeling discouraged, I treated these moments as opportunities to learn and grow. By showing customers that I was willing to adapt and make improvements based on their input, I built trust and demonstrated that their opinions genuinely matter. Adaptation also required flexibility in my approach. I experimented with different strategies, offers, and communication methods to see what resonated best with my audience. Sometimes a small change based on feedback, such as modifying a product feature, updating a process, or providing clearer instructions, made a significant difference in customer satisfaction. Being responsive and willing to pivot when necessary ensured that I stayed relevant in a dynamic market. Customers appreciated that I was not the security, their evolving needs. Finally, continuously learning from feedback created a cycle of improvement that strengthened my relationships with customers over time. They saw that their input led to tangible changes, which made them feel valued and invested in my business. This engagement encouraged further communication, deeper trust, and higher loyalty. By embracing feedback and adapting accordingly, I was able to not only enhance my products and services, but also build a customer base that felt heard, respected, and genuinely connected to my brand. In conclusion, gaining customers is not about quick sales or flashy marketing. It's about understanding people, building trust, providing real value, and continuously improving. Every strategy I shared today, from knowing your audience to learning from feedback, works because it focuses on relationships and genuine service. When you prioritize your customers' needs and experiences, success naturally follows. Remember, a loyal customer is not just a buyer. They are an advocate, a supporter, and a partner in your journey. By implementing these principles consistently, you can grow not only your customer base but also a reputation that lasts.